Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts with another boxing, another offline product game review. This is Stellaris, the console edition, the Royal for the PlayStation 4. To jump right into it, this physical copy here comes with the update version 5.0 right on the disc, but sadly there was an update available. This update will take you to the version 6.01, and the update size was around 3.3 gigabytes big. I say around because when I first started this, it said 7.5 gigabytes, but then later it just said 3.3 gigabytes big, so I'm not entirely sure why that is. Now, this physical copy does not come with any of the DLC content on the disc. It's completely just on a redeem code. But it does come with a massive amount of updated version of the game on the disc, which is extremely nice. Now, if you don't know, the Royal Edition here is an import-only physical copy from Japan, but this physical copy does support full English menus, voices, as well as subtitles and dialogue and all this other stuff. So it's fully in English, and it does support many other languages, which is extremely nice. Now, I do want to point out that if you don't know, there is a PAL version of Stellaris, the console edition. That one came out way in the past. To give you an idea how much bigger this physical copy is the PAL version comes with the update version 1.51 on the disc, and it was only 5 gigabytes big, while this PS4 Japan version comes with the update version 5.0 and it's 21 gigabytes big. So it's quite significantly, almost 3 times bigger than the PAL version what's on the disc. Now, please keep in mind why this Japan version is so big in terms of the data on the disc is that this does actually come with the DLC. The DLC is actually on the disc. It's just locked to you. That's what that redeem code is for. It unlocks the content for you. So it's extremely disappointing that they went with the redeem code and didn't just completely put it available on the disc for everyone. I'm so tired of redeem codes. That stuff just needs to go away. Just let us have the complete version of the game on the disc for completely accessible. So extremely disappointing. But I mean, even though with that, the game is still packed with a good amount of replayability, functions, and content. This is a more updated version compared to the PAL version, so it does add a little bit more customizations in terms of gameplay and stuff like that, in terms of you start up your universe, or galaxy, if you will, and then it actually has some little bit more extra settings and stuff like that. Of course, then creating your species and stuff has a little bit more content as well, so as well as luckily they do allow you to hit the square button when you're in a creation mode to disable all DLC content, so you don't constantly see it popping up saying, well, you need to buy the DLC if you want this content. It's kind of nice they allow you to deactivate it in case you're getting tired of seeing it, but overall, this was my first time sitting down playing it. I never sat down and played the PAL version, and I extremely enjoyed this game. I really liked the gameplay, the graphics, the style, and just the implication on the console. Now, if you don't know, Stellaris, I'm hoping I'm getting that name right, is a 4X game. Basically, a 4X is a big strategy game where you got multiple ways you can play it. You can do from trading, economy, faith, or military. I believe that's what this refers to, 4X. You got many ways to be able to win the game. Now, I've never been very diplomatic kind of person in these kinds of games. I'm always just all about war. So war. Peace is never an option for me. So I created my own species that completely has dictatorship and all this other stuff. I just want to give out war. But it is cool to have multiple ways you can play the game, and you can colonize many planets as well as research technology to allow you to colonize more planets and advance your ships. The game is pretty straightforward in how it functions, but it's very addicting and rewarding every time you explore a new galaxy or a new star system and see what's going to be there, what's going to be available in terms of resources, as well as the other AIs doing the same thing, trying to do what they can to survive. Now, cool thing is, why they have the console version here, it does work relatively well with the controller. Now, it can be a little clunky at the start and a little confusing how to do everything. The best advice I could give you is take advantage of the quick access square button. Basically, this allows you to immediately bring up a wheel, and it allows you to access everything on that star system, whether you got military ships, science ships, construction ships, your star base, your planet. It makes things so much easier. You can just hold square on that and immediately jump to that planet or that star base, or you grab all your military units or select a science ship. It makes the progress so smooth. As well as you can use the square button in case you're using like a construction ship or a science ship to create a chain effect command. So you can like hit survey this star system, and then hit square on another star system and say, once you're done with this system surveying, come over here and survey this system. You can big up a big old chain. That way you don't have to keep monitoring these units. And as well as you can build on top of your planet, you can choose the resource, how does work. You can build like military, you can like build like science buildings and commercial buildings, factories on each planet that you have inhabited. There's tons of content and replayability value, since every time you start up a new galaxy, it's randomly generated and you got different kind of approaches. As well as, like I said, you can affect the statistics of what's available and stuff like that. So you have lots of replayability. As well as the game has a thing called the in crisis mode, where at a certain point of the game, you can disable this. A big threat will be able to be attacking the entire galaxy. Basically, you have to all work together to defeat this overwhelmingly powerful entity that's going to attack. There's like 3 versions of kind of the in-world crisis. Sadly, on my first run, I immediately died from this in-world crisis. I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to fight it, but it really reminded me of the Reapers from Mass Effect or the Shadows from Babylon 5, which this game would make a perfect iteration for Babylon 5 or Mass Effect. It definitely would fit right into it like a glove. I would love to see a mod version of that or something. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. This game was a lot of fun, but in the end, it was a bittersweet enjoyment because this is not the complete version of the game. As I said, there was an update available, as well as that redeem code is required if you want to get all the DLC content. It's just disappointing that this could not have been a complete version of the game. If they just cared just a little bit more about physical preservation, this would have been a must-buy for your physical collecting. But it's still a great buy right now. It's clearly a more updated and better version than the PAL version we have. So this is the best version you can get. But again, it's extremely disappointing in that. But I'm not saying it's not worth picking up. It's still fun even with this base vanilla version of the game in terms of 5.0 without all the DLC and stuff like that on the disc. Overall, I had a good time with this game. There is another physical version called the DMM or whatever version on the Japan version. I think that's just the greatest hits. And there is the standard Japan version. I don't know what that version is on disc. I only have this version, the Royal, and I had the PAL version. So I know what that one has and this one has. And this is clearly the best version that I know of to get if you want the most updated version physically on disc. It's up to you if you're into these kinds of games. I really love these war games and stuff like that, and I love always these resource management and military management games. They're always just a lot of fun for me. I always get absorbed and addicted to them. But sadly, this is like a slow burn game, so you can spend months trying to find every kind of possibility in the game, and you're constantly finding something new and some kind of new challenge for yourself. So, it depends on you. I recommend the game because it's a more updated version compared to the PAL version, as well as it's still an extremely fun game, and as well as a very interesting thing to have on your shelf, to show off in terms of your collection. It's one of those maybe little games. I don't know how rare it's going to become, but it is only available in Japan, as well as that this is the Royal, so it's like a Game of the Year edition, if you will. I was just really hoping this would have been all on disc, but overall, I still had a lot of fun with this game. Definitely going to come back to it. Definitely, maybe it'd be more better to get it on PC, because that will have, probably better and stuff like that. But I do want to point out that this game ran great for me on my PS5. The load times were really fast, even when I created the biggest universe out there. Or biggest galaxy available, and it load up, and I never had any slowdowns or issues, or I never had the game crash. I didn't notice a single bug or problem. The only time it kind of stuttered a little bit was when the game was auto-saving, and it was really quick, so it didn't really affect anything much at all. So it's a great buy, in my opinion. It just could have been much better if they cared about physical preservation just a little bit more. So, like always, I try to leave links down in the description if you're instant copy. It's up to you. It depends on what you look for into a game. I enjoyed it. It's one of my kind of style games. I love 4Xs. I love military madness and stuff like that, where you just build up bases and units and take care of the research and all this other stuff. There's so much I could talk about this game, but it'd be a very long video, and I want to get to the point. And the point is that it is a better version than the PAL version, and I do recommend it for that. But whether you care for these kinds of games or you want to go out of your way to import this version, that's entirely up to you. So thank you again so much all for watching my videos, and I hope this video has helped you in case you've been looking about this Royal Edition or any future videos I do. So again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye!